Grill This, Smoke That is generously supported by Oven Brothers, makers of handcrafted Canadian-made wood-burning outdoor ovens for inspired chefs. Visit us at ovenbrothers.ca. Oven Brothers, from our family's backyard to yours.
Grill This, Smoke That is brought to you by Furtado Farms. For all your outdoor cooking needs, they're your premium source for cookwood. Whether it's pellets, chips, chunks, or logs, they've got you covered. Visit furtadofarms.ca for more info.
Kettleman's Bagels is proud to support Grill This, Smoke That. Kettleman's, makers of wood-fired Montreal-style bagels using only premium ingredients. With 3 Ottawa locations, Kettleman's menu is available 24/7, 365 days a year.
Second pickle of the day.
Yes.
Very, very curious about this one. We've grilled our onions and we've smoked them a little bit, but what else are we doing here?
Well, we also smoked these beautiful cranberries ahead of time as well. So you've got a couple of layers of smoke going on in this dish, and it's going to be a cranberry chutney. So super versatile. You could enjoy it with grilled meats and so on, but also great spread on crostini with a little bit of goat cheese. So it's just going to be a lot more flavorful than your typical cranberry sauce.
Sounds good. And again, cranberries native to Nova Scotia.
Well, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, throughout the Maritimes, but there's a lot of cranberry enterprises, and Haskap berries are coming along as well.
Haskaps are an incredible berry. I just started working with them last year, and it was an amazing situation. The flavor is incredible, the tartness, the blend of all kinds of different...
So they would be a perfect substitute in this dish. If you chose to use Haskaps instead, they'd be great.
Awesome. So I'm going to start chopping some onions.
That's right, and I've got some already in the pan here.
So after chopping the onions, obviously you're going to want to put them in a pan and let them go till how long?
Probably about 5 minutes. You just want to soften them because the quick grill and the smoke wasn't enough to cook them. And you can just tell by the texture right there. So you want, with a chutney, everything is kind of cooked and softened and the flavors really are mellow and blended. So that's why we're going to do this extra step here.
Perfect. So we've cooked them down.
Yep.
We had that going for a few minutes now.
Yep.
And after that, we add what?
We're going to start with our cranberries. And if there's any liquids that have come out during smoking, those are great to put in as well.
For sure.
And look at the color on that,
Absolutely.
just so
we've got a
beautiful.
little discoloration because of the applewood smoke, but the overall flavor will still have that tartness. And
Absolutely.
You're just adding a different dynamic to
And then for seasonings, we've got some rosemary. That's a really classic pairing with cranberry, and it just will give that chutney more layers of flavor, like I mentioned. Maple syrup, because I want to put maple syrup in everything.
And it's funny, we went down to the East Coast and we found that the maple syrup, it's one of my favorite condiments on the planet. But there was something about whether it's the salt air or how it affects the trees. I don't know what it is, but it is totally different.
It does have a really different flavor, and I have found that you need to find producers in the Maritimes that will make it to your specifications. I think they don't cook it as long as we do here.
Right, it's a lot lighter.
So that's my impression, is it's not quite as reduced. And then balsamic vinegar, which is great in chutneys because it's sweet, but it's got that little bit of tangy as well, but it's not as strong as, say, an apple cider vinegar, for example. And I am just kind of guesstimating this. I think I'm going to put in a little bit more balsamic.
Okay.
And then we're going to crank the heat up.
Yep.
And then this takes about, it depends on the volume that you're making, but I would say between 5 and 10 minutes. And it's just going to, everything's going to soften, and the flavors are going to blend together, and the liquid will be reduced. And then it's going to be nice and thick, like a cranberry sauce or like a chutney of another form, like a mango chutney or whatever.
Right. And you could have that pretty much on anything.
Oh, absolutely. This is another just grab the spoon kind of thing, for sure. Really nice in a sandwich with roasted pork. It's just, you think about that flavor combination, right?
Absolutely.
And it's the color that it brings to a dish as well.
Right. I think this would even lend itself well to seafood as well.
I think so, because there's nothing that's going to fight with that delicate flavor of the fish. This is... it doesn't have a big punchy flavor.
No, but you have the elements of sweetness with the balsamic and
That's
the
right.
maple syrup and all that. But you also have that tanginess of the berry, which gets blended through and softened down.
That's
quite a
right.
bit.
And then that smoky note that just kind of rides over the whole thing is just the perfect finishing touch for this. I've made it without smoking the cranberries and the onions, and it's very, very good. But then when I tried making it with the smoked produce, it was just next level. It was so, so great.
Absolutely.
So this is softening up pretty well here.
Okay.
I think because we have such a broad pan, the evaporation's happening a lot faster.
Right.
And at this point, I would suggest that you probably, you know what, I didn't add the salt in yet, and I mentioned that because I didn't want it to take over. We're just going to add a little bit, and then I'm going to get you to taste it, and we'll see if you think it's ready to go. And you can cook it down as little or as much as you want. This one is not cooked down as much as I sometimes make it, but it would still be great. So just a little sauce test there.
Wow.
Oh, good. Wow is good.
Wow is great.
Wow is good.
Wow.
So we can just put it in the jar right now, or we
Okay.
can cook it down. It's up to you.
No, let's put it in the jar.
Okay.
So I'm going to do my magic. And you
Because
can do
I don't think I could lift that sucker.
It's all good. And so we just gingerly pour it into our mason jar. And again, this is a throw it in the fridge and forget it type of deal.
That's right, a quick pickle like we mentioned. So you're not going to put this in the cold cellar for a year or 6.
Right.
There we go.
Got it all?
Yep.
Beautiful.
And again, because it's not getting processed, it doesn't matter if the jar isn't full, because it's not going to be sitting out in the elements. And there we go. Isn't that pretty? Oh, I should mention too, actually, we'll take the lid off. If you want to make them look even prettier, you can tuck a little extra rosemary down the side. And I do this with a lot of pickles, so people kind of get a hint of what's inside.
Fabulous. Again, your golden little touches on everything, Paula, makes something, you know, beautiful, exceptional.
Thank you.
Second pickle of the day. Voila. On today's tool segment, I want to talk about smoke generators. Now, what's a smoke generator? Smoke generator is a tube, or you can use tin foil that's perforated with little holes. But what I like to do is I like to use smoke generators in gas grills. Gas grills don't produce any smoke unless, of course, it's got a smoking tray, which a lot of them do now. But this is a great idea. You basically fill it full of the different chips that are included with the kit, or you can get other ones. And then you're going to place the cap back on, soak it in water for 3 or 4 hours. And then you're going to drain the water out. That's what those little holes are for at the end. You're going to place this directly over the burning element or the burner element on your gas grill. That will actually start to smolder the chips inside, producing this really, really wonderful, flavorful smoke that's going to surround your food and make everything taste good. You could also use a lower flame on one end, put the food on the other end, and actually use it like a cold smoker. So there's lots of different ways to use this. Smoke generators, really cool tools.